You're listening to the Small Business Accelerator podcast, accelerating success, one founder at a time.
With your hosts, Roger Bryant and Sarah Wilson.
We support small business owners, the little guys. We're here to help you win in today's landscape.
Join us each week as we reveal powerful strategies for small business owners that save you time and money.
Because we believe every small business owner should have access to Fortune 500 style strategies without breaking the bank.
Subscribe now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts to accelerate your small business success. All right, listeners, get ready, because today we're diving deep into a topic that can seriously boost your business. We're talking upselling and cross-selling strategies.
And we're dissecting this awesome guide we found to help us break it all down.
Yeah, this guide is packed with practical tips, so let's unpack it all together.
You know, people think upselling and cross-selling are these pushy sales tactics, but it's really not that at all.
I feel that it's really about figuring out what the customer really needs and then some.
Exactly. It's about going that extra mile, providing extra value that they maybe didn't even realize they needed.
Absolutely. But before we get into the how-tos, let's define these terms. Can you explain the difference between upselling and cross-selling? They seem to get used interchangeably sometimes.
Definitely. Okay, so picture this. You're buying a smartphone. Upselling is when they convince you, hey, go for the model with more storage, faster processor, all that jazz.
Basically leveling up to the super deluxe version.
Exactly. Now, cross-selling, that's when they're like, hey, you need a case for that phone, some awesome noise-canceling headphones too. They're suggesting things that complement your main purchase.
So it's like, you've got your main dish, now complete the meal with some sides. And what I really appreciate from this guide is the emphasis on making sure upselling doesn't feel pushy.
Right. It shouldn't be about pressure. It should be about enhancing their experience. It's about making sure they feel good about getting even more than what they bargained for.
It's about value. I love that. Okay, so let's get practical. This guide has tons of techniques businesses can use. Where do we even start?
Well, I think we've all fallen for this one. Scarcity and urgency.
Oh yeah, like those limited time offer deals. I can't resist those.
Exactly. That fear of missing out is powerful. The guide talks about using those limited time offers, countdown timers, even just saying low stock to create that urgency. But, big but here.
Don't go creating fake scarcity, right?
Exactly. It's got to be ethical. Don't ruin that trust.
Trust is everything. Okay, another interesting tactic from the guide is about using customer service interactions as prime upselling opportunities. What are your thoughts?
I think it's brilliant, really. It all comes back to understanding your customer. The guide actually gives a great example of a customer calling a software company with a simple question. And by asking the right questions, really listening, the rep was able to recommend an upgrade that perfectly fit the customer's needs.
So it's about being a problem solver, not just an order taker.
Right. You've got them engaged, so why not see if you can improve their experience?
Make them feel heard. Okay, this next strategy, I'm curious about timing. The guide calls it the magic moment for an upsell. What makes the timing so important?
Okay, think about it. A customer just decided to buy that laptop they've been wanting. They're excited. They haven't checked out yet. They're still in that decision-making mode. That, according to the guide, is the sweet spot.
So capitalize on that excitement while they're open to adding more to their cart. Makes sense. Okay, let's talk personalization. Feels like that's a big one these days.
Huge. Think about when you're shopping online, and those recommendations are scary accurate. That's data analytics working its magic.
Yeah, it's a little creepy sometimes, but also kind of cool.
Right. And the guide talks about using this to tailor upsell suggestions. If someone's always buying organic produce, maybe offer a discount on a subscription box.
Show them you get them. And speaking of catching their eye, let's talk about visuals. This guide dedicates a whole section to visual appeal, so it must be important.
Absolutely. It's simple. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Imagine browsing a website and boom, right next to the product, there's this sleek graphic showcasing the upgraded version. That visual cue is powerful.
It's like that extra oomph to really sell it.
And don't forget about placement. You know those customers also bought carousels? They're strategically placed to grab your attention.
Yeah, those get me every time. It's about using design to subtly guide their choices.
Exactly. But visuals are just one way technology can boost these strategies.
Ooh, now we're getting into the really cool stuff. But before we dive into that tech deep dive. Okay, so we're back and ready to explore how tech is taking upselling and cross-selling to a whole new level.
Think jetpacks strapped to those already powerful strategies we discussed.
I'm buckled in and ready for liftoff.
This guide really highlights how tools like AI-driven recommendation engines are completely changing the game. Remember how we talked about personalization?
Yeah, it's like they know what you want before you do. Sometimes a little too well.
Exactly. AI takes it up a notch. These engines analyze tons of data, past purchases, browsing history, even what similar customers are buying.
So they're like superpowered shopping assistants.
Pretty much. And they can deliver those hyper-targeted suggestions.
Does the guide give any examples of platforms that are nailing this?
Absolutely. It specifically mentions platforms like Fresh Relevance and Clevu.
Okay, I've heard of those. They're both designed for e-commerce, right?
Yeah, they integrate directly into websites, making it way easier for businesses to offer those you might also like suggestions without needing a whole data science team.
So it's about making that powerful tech more user-friendly, more accessible. But we still have to find that balance, right? We don't want to freak customers out with overly aggressive tactics.
Definitely. The human touch is still so important. And speaking of which, the guide dives into that human element with some really cool case studies.
Ooh, I love a good case study. Seeing these strategies in action is what makes it click.
Totally. There's one in particular that stood out to me. It's about a major electronics retailer called Stylus. They're based in Ukraine.
Okay, and what did they do?
So they started sending out these personalized newsletters to their customers based on what those customers have been looking at on their website.
So if I was browsing headphones, I might get an email with deals on the latest noise-canceling models.
Exactly. And get this, they found that 20% of their orders came directly from those personalized product suggestions in their email campaigns.
Wow, that's huge. Proof that personalization really works.
It's not just about chasing trends, it's about actually connecting with your customers' needs, which leads to sales, but also...
A better customer experience.
You got it. People are more likely to come back if they feel valued and understood.
Builds loyalty, which is gold for any business. But even with the best strategies, challenges are inevitable. Does the guide address any potential pitfalls?
Oh, definitely. It points out that upselling and cross-selling can backfire if you aren't careful. Like bombarding people with irrelevant suggestions is a surefire way to annoy them.
It's like that friend who tries to set you up on blind dates but hasn't listened to a word you've said about what you're looking for.
Exactly. It's all about understanding your customer. Nobody wants to feel pressured into buying something they don't need.
It always comes back to genuine connection and value. And speaking of value, our deep dive today takes us one step further. Business automation. I'm all ears.
Things are out to get really efficient. While the guide doesn't explicitly dive into automation, it's clear that tech is a major player in all of this. And automation is all about using tech to streamline, to make things more efficient and effective.
So how does this apply to upselling and cross-selling? Break it down for me.
Okay, imagine running an online store with thousands of customers. Trying to personalize offers for each individual customer manually would be, well...
A nightmare.
Exactly. That's where automation swoops in to save the day. It's like having an army of virtual assistants working behind the scenes.
Okay, I'm liking the sound of this. Less work for us. So we're trading in that nightmare for a streamlined dream team of tech helpers.
You got it. Automation takes over that heavy lifting. Think about it. Personalized email sequences, triggered based on what a customer's been looking at, what they've bought before.
No more generic mass emails. Everyone gets that VIP treatment.
Exactly. Or, how about this? Automated product recommendations right on the website. While they shop, boom suggestions tailored just for them.
It's like having that personal shopper experience, but online, 24/7.
And some platforms even have chatbots now.
Chatbots, like those AI things that are popping up everywhere.
Exactly, but these are smart chatbots. They can actually engage with customers, recommend upgrades, add-ons, all in real time.
Wow, so they're like those super helpful sales associates you find at some stores, but digital.
You got it. And this brings us back to those platforms we mentioned, Fresh Relevance, Clevu. That's what they're built for automation, making it doable for businesses to have these systems without needing a tech guru on staff.
Music to my ears.
Yeah.
I'm all about simplifying and using tech to work for you, not the other way around. But besides just saving us time and headaches, automation can actually make these strategies even more effective, right?
Absolutely. Because these automated systems are constantly crunching data, refining their approach, they actually get better over time.
So they're like sales ninjas, always learning, adapting, and getting sharper.
Exactly. You're not just saving resources, you're potentially boosting those sales because the right people are getting the right offers at the perfect moment.
Okay, so we're talking maximized efficiency, A&D impact. That's the dream.
Right. And you know what? Ultimately, it boils down to improving the customer experience. Happier customers, more sales, everybody wins.
I love a good win-win. This has been an awesome deep dive. We've covered so much ground today, from the psychology of upselling and cross-selling to how tech can take it all to the next level.
We've talked about understanding your customers, building that trust, and really focusing on adding value every step of the way. It's not just about closing a deal, it's about building those lasting relationships.
And speaking of lasting impressions, any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with today?
Just this. As you're implementing these strategies, keep that authenticity front and center. People can sniff out a phony sales pitch from a mile away. So focus on truly getting your customers, offering solutions that truly benefit them, and you'll be golden.
And I said it better myself. Authenticity, value, connection. Those are the ingredients for success. And that's a wrap on today's deep dive. Until next time, happy selling, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to the Small Business Accelerator podcast.
We really hope today's strategies help you grow your business without breaking the bank.
Don't forget to check the show notes for links to resources we've handpicked for small business success.
If you found value in today's episode, it would make our day if you subscribed to the podcast and left us a review.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And stay tuned for our next episode. Next time, we'll reveal yet another game-changing strategy that's revolutionizing how small businesses on a shoestring budget take on giant corporations and accelerate their success.
Until then, keep accelerating your success.
This is Sarah Wilson.
And Roger Bryant, signing off.